There's reporting about a $2.2 billion media rights deal out there.
There's rumor of it?
Reporting about the next media
That's,
rights deal.
then if you, I'm not great with numbers, low ball.
Why do you say that?
That's a low ball.
The WNBA has never been this wild. Record-breaking viewership, packed arenas, explosive rivalries. But behind the sold-out games and glowing headlines, chaos is brewing. The Indiana Fever, the league's most talked-about team, are falling apart from the inside. Rumors of a fractured locker room, tension between the veterans and the new superstar, Caitlin Clark, and an owner, Steve Simon, who's reportedly had enough. Sources say Simon has quietly reached out to one woman, a legend, the only person with the power, respect, and legacy to fix it all, Cheryl Miller, the original face of women's basketball, the pioneer who made this sport matter before anyone was watching. And now, decades later, the one figure capable of saving both the Fever and maybe the entire WNBA. Steve Simon isn't your typical owner. He's patient, business-minded, and loyal. But he's also competitive. And this season, patience has turned to frustration. He's watched the Fever's locker room crack under pressure. He's watched his young superstar, Caitlin Clark, shoulder impossible expectations while veteran voices question her spotlight.
Are you the greatest women's basketball player of all
What?
time?
Girl, bye.
No.
Respectfully, girl, bye.
No.
It's okay.
No. You know what? To be honest, I'm one of many.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm just serious.
That ain't what we believe, though.
Well, it's debatable. Depending on who you ask, it's debatable.
He's watched his franchise go from America's darling to America's soap opera. And now, according to insiders, Simon's message is clear. The Fever need discipline. The Fever need direction. The Fever need a leader who everyone respects. So who do you call when your team, and maybe your league, has lost control? You call the woman who invented control. You call Cheryl Miller. It started quietly. One phone call from Steve Simon to an old family friend. Someone who knows basketball, Indiana, and leadership better than anyone. Cheryl Miller. Yes, the same Cheryl Miller who built USC into a dynasty. The same Cheryl Miller whose influence turned her brother, Reggie Miller, into a Pacers legend. Simon's pitch was simple. We don't just need a coach, we need a culture. And Miller didn't hesitate. She reportedly told him, "If I'm coming in, I'm coming to change everything." That sentence alone set the internet on fire. Because when Cheryl Miller talks about change, she means revolution.
Cheryl, you scored 100 points in a game? 105.
I didn't play the last 2 minutes, though.
How did you?
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark has been living a whirlwind. She's selling out arenas, breaking records, and bringing millions of new fans to the WNBA. But at what cost? The pressure has been relentless. Every game dissected, every word twisted, every foul turned into a headline. Insiders say Clark's been trying to balance being a rookie and the face of the league. And it's taken a toll. She's kept her composure, but behind closed doors, sources claim she's grown frustrated by the lack of direction. Clark reportedly told teammates, "We have the talent. We just don't have the system." That's where Cheryl Miller comes in, because Miller doesn't just build teams, she builds standards. Cheryl Miller commands respect everywhere she goes. She doesn't need social media followers or brand deals to prove her worth. Her legacy is the proof.
I'm going to be honest because it needs to be said. I can relate to that young lady, and I felt for her.
Mm-hmm.
I know what it's like to be hated. I know what it's like to be a black woman and hated because of my
skin.
color.
Yeah.
I can't imagine this young lady, I don't want to use hate, but despised.
When she walks into a room, veterans straighten up. Rookies listen. Owners pay attention. She doesn't care about fame, she cares about results. And that's exactly what Steve Simon wants for Caitlin Clark's team. He doesn't need another PR stunt. He needs a coach who can teach Clark how to turn pressure into dominance. Miller knows what it means to carry a sport on her back. She did it before the WNBA even existed. She's the blueprint for everything Clark is trying to become. Sources claim Simon and Miller have already met privately in Indianapolis. The topic? A consultant role, or as some insiders are calling it, the role before the role. If things go well, Miller could step into an official position. Part coach, part advisor, part fixer. It's not just about the Fever. It's about restoring credibility to the entire league.
Angel Reese, guys, I don't know how she does it. She doesn't jump out the gym. She's not like your 6'6", 6'5", which gives her a height advantage, a length advantage.
Steve Simon reportedly told associates, "The WNBA doesn't need another influencer. It needs an enforcer." And Cheryl Miller is that enforcer. The WNBA has talent like never before. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Aja Wilson, stars everywhere. But talent without structure creates chaos. You can't build a dynasty without leadership. You can't build a league on drama. The NBA learned that decades ago. Through figures like Phil Jackson and Pat Riley, people who turned egos into excellence. Cheryl Miller is the WNBA's version of that. She's not here to pick sides between old and new. She's here to create order. Players wouldn't question her authority. Fans wouldn't question her integrity. And league executives would finally have someone who speaks both basketball and business. Imagine this. Caitlin Clark walks into her first practice under Cheryl Miller. The cameras flash, the arena goes quiet, and for once, Clark isn't the loudest presence in the room. Because now, she's being coached by the woman who defined greatness. Miller wouldn't treat her like a celebrity. She'd treat her like a project, a legacy in progress, and that's exactly what Clark has been missing. Under Miller, Clark could evolve from viral sensation to unstoppable champion. The discipline, the defense, the leadership, all of it could finally click. Miller doesn't babysit stars, she builds them. Steve Simon isn't thinking small. He's reportedly discussing the possibility of a Miller model, a plan to bring Cheryl in not just for the fever, but to help restructure the entire WNBA coaching pipeline. Imagine a league where former legends, Lisa Leslie, Dawn Staley, Tina Thompson, are all part of a coaching mentorship system built by Miller.
And one of the best that's ever played the game, so I've known Cheryl for a little while now. I think her energy, that's what I love about her. Like, it's just contagious, and it's fun. Like, I called her coach and she was like, "I don't know about that yet. You'll have to see how I do during the game." So
That's legacy management on a whole new level. And if Miller can pull it off, it would erase decades of internal politics and set the WNBA up for global growth. Simon's vision is simple. If we're going to grow, we need a face fans trust. And that face is Cheryl Miller. When Cheryl Miller played, there was one rule: you earn your respect. She practiced harder, played tougher, and demanded accountability. Teammates feared her, opponents admired her, everyone remembered her. Now imagine that same energy injected into today's WNBA, a league where stars sometimes argue more than they defend and coaches hesitate to challenge players. Miller wouldn't allow it. She'd bring back grit. She'd demand discipline. She'd restore respect. Steve Simon knows this. Caitlin Clark knows this. And fans, they're begging for it. Cheryl Miller isn't just a basketball legend. She's a cultural icon. She was one of the first Black women to headline national sports coverage. She broke barriers, destroyed stereotypes, and did it all before endorsement deals existed. Her return wouldn't just be about basketball. It would be about authenticity. She represents everything fans miss: real talk, real toughness, real love for the game. That's why Steve Simon wants her. That's why Caitlin Clark needs her. That's why the WNBA can't afford to ignore her. Because in a time when the league is obsessed with image, Cheryl Miller brings identity. If Miller joined the Fever tomorrow, everything would change. No more confusion on the court, no more off-court noise, no more who runs this team debates. Miller would take control instantly. Caitlin Clark would finally have the mentor she's been searching for. And Steve Simon's franchise would shift from tabloid headlines to championship talk. She'd implement a system that prioritizes basketball over branding. She'd challenge the players who've coasted. And she'd remind the entire league, this is professional basketball, not reality TV. If Cheryl Miller steps into a leadership role, other owners will follow. You'd see legends come back: Cheryl Swoops, Teresa Weatherspoon, Lisa Leslie, all inspired by her return. The WNBA could enter its golden generation, because Miller's not just another name, she's the missing foundation. She knows what the league used to be, what it's become, and what it can be again. Her presence alone could turn skepticism into belief, and that's something no marketing campaign has managed to do. For Caitlin Clark, this could be career-defining. Right now, she's carrying the weight of the league, and that's unsustainable. She needs a mentor who understands both pressure and purpose. Under Miller's guidance, Clark could transition from rookie superstar to franchise legend. Her game would mature, her voice would sharpen, and she'd finally have someone who can look her in the eye and say, "I've been where you are." Now, let's make history. This isn't just mentorship, it's destiny. Steve Simon has always wanted the Fever to be more than just a team. He wants a movement, a brand that defines what women's basketball can be. He's invested in stars, he's invested in facilities. Now, he's ready to invest in leadership. If Cheryl Miller joins the Fever in any capacity, coach, advisor, or executive, it'll mark the beginning of something special, the Miller-Clark era. The legend returns, the prodigy rises, and Steve Simon becomes the architect behind the greatest comeback story the league has ever seen. Let's face it, no one in the WNBA's history has a resume like Cheryl Miller. She built the foundation before the league existed. She inspired the legends who built it. And now, she might be the one to save it. Steve Simon knows it. Caitlin Clark feels it. And fans are ready for it. Because the WNBA doesn't need more drama. It needs direction. It doesn't need louder voices. It needs stronger ones. And there's no voice stronger than Cheryl Miller's. So if the rumors are true, if that phone call from Simon was more than just talk, then we might be witnessing the return of a legend. And if Cheryl Miller steps back into the game, the WNBA will never, ever be the same again. Do you think Steve Simon should bring Cheryl Miller to the Indiana Fever to mentor Caitlin Clark? Drop your thoughts below. And if you believe the Miller era could save the WNBA, comment "Bring her back" below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Fever Power Shift stories and behind-the-scenes league drama.